"Sir, I learned this song from my mommy." The little girl played the piano, and the lonely CEO froze. Snow drifted gently through the night sky, each flake catching the glow of street lamps like sparks of quiet magic. On the corner of an old cobblestone street stood a small cafe, its windows glowing amber against the chill of Christmas Eve. Inside, warm laughter and the clink of mugs blended softly with the smell of cinnamon and roasted coffee beans. A Christmas tree, modest but lovingly decorated with hand-tied bows and wooden stars, stood near the fireplace. The cafe wasn't crowded, just a few couples sipping cocoa, a man reading by the window, and a handful of families waiting out the cold. It felt like the kind of place where stories lived in the floorboards. The door opened with a soft chime. Daniel Wyatt stepped inside. Tall, sharply dressed in a tailored black coat and gray scarf, he looked like someone who had walked straight out of a Manhattan boardroom. And in many ways, he had. At 32, Daniel was the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar tech firm. He had just left a company gala filled with chandeliers, champagne, and hollow small talk. He hated every second of it. This cafe, quiet, imperfect, was a welcome refuge, a pause in a life filled with noise and numbers. He ordered a coffee and sat near the back, folding his hands together, staring through the fogged window into the snowy dark. That was when he heard it. The first few notes were soft. A piano, slightly out of tune, played with care. Hesitant fingers, small and uncertain, pressed down on the keys. He turned. Near the Christmas tree sat a little girl, about 5, curly brown hair tied back with a red ribbon. Her red dress fluttered slightly as her feet dangled above the floor. She played with quiet focus, making up in heart what she lacked in precision. Daniel froze. The song was Winter Glow. He hadn't heard it in more than a decade, a melody that had never been played publicly, a song that had existed in only one place, in the hands of Grace Carter. She had written it for him when they were 17, when love still felt infinite, when they believed music could carry them anywhere. She was going to play it for him the first time he saw her on stage, but that day never came. Grace disappeared before her first concert. Family illness, a life derailed. No goodbye, no explanation, just silence. Daniel had tried to find her, but eventually he gave up, buried her song with the rest of the memories. And yet here it was, alive again, through the fingers of a child. When the final note faded into silence, Daniel realized he had stood up. The coffee was forgotten. His heart thudded in his chest as he walked toward the piano. The girl smiled at the light applause and took a sip from her cocoa. Daniel crouched beside her, gently, trying not to startle her. "That was beautiful," he said softly. "May I ask, where did you learn that song?" She tilted her head, eyes bright. "From my mommy," she answered. "She said she wrote it when she was in love." Daniel's breath caught. His mouth opened, but no words came. He stared at the girl, her joyful grin, the way she held herself with quiet confidence. She looked like no one he knew, yet something about her tugged at his chest like a familiar melody. The girl took another sip of cocoa, then added cheerfully, "It's my favorite. Mommy says it makes the snow feel warmer." Daniel didn't speak. Outside, snow kept falling, soft and slow. But inside that small cafe, time had stopped. In the echo of a forgotten melody, in the words of a child who didn't know the weight of what she carried, Daniel felt something shift. Grace. She was the only one who could have written that song. The only one who knew its every note. And this child, this bright-eyed girl who spoke of music and love as if they were the same thing, she was her daughter. Daniel stood slowly, eyes still on the girl. There was only one possibility. Grace Carter had never forgotten him. And now, neither would he. Daniel remained frozen, the child's words echoing in his mind like a song that refused to end. "My mommy is Grace." He knelt beside the little girl again, studying her more closely now. The soft curls framing her face, the shape of her eyes, the dimples that appeared when she smiled. Once he noticed it, he couldn't unsee it. There was something familiar there, a spark of someone he once knew. "What's your name?" he asked gently. The girl grinned. "Ellie." She said it proudly, like her name mattered. Then she added, without pause, "I'm 5.5. I play piano with Mommy, and I really like marshmallows in my cocoa." Daniel smiled despite himself. "And your mommy," he said carefully. "She's the one who taught you that song?" Ellie nodded. "Winter Glow. Mommy says she wrote it for someone, a long time ago." Daniel's breath caught again. Before he could respond, a voice called from behind the counter, warm and familiar. "Ellie, sweetheart, it's time to put your coat on. We're closing soon." He turned, and the world tilted. Grace. She stepped out from behind the espresso machine, wiping her hands on a towel. There was a dusting of flour and cocoa powder on her sleeves. Her long blonde hair was tied back in a low ponytail, loose strands curling around her cheeks. She wore a faded green sweater and dark jeans marked with the evidence of a long shift. She looked nothing like the girl he remembered, and everything like the woman she had become. Their eyes met. For a moment, the cafe vanished. 10 years collapsed into seconds. Campus benches, rainy nights sharing headphones, summers filled with promises. The day she disappeared without a word. Daniel stood slowly. The air between them felt heavy. Grace didn't move. She didn't flinch. Her face revealed nothing. Finally, she spoke, her voice lower now, steadier, but unmistakably hers. "I didn't expect to see you again," she said. After a pause, she added, "Especially here." Daniel tried to speak. An apology, a question, something meaningful. But the words he had rehearsed for years scattered before they reached his mouth. Grace stepped forward and bent beside Ellie, who had begun humming to herself, unaware of the tension around her. "Go get your coat, love," Grace said gently, brushing a crumb from her daughter's cheek. Ellie skipped toward the coat rack. Grace straightened, crossing her arms loosely. "You look different." "So do you," Daniel said, his voice finally steady. "I didn't know. I had no idea you had a daughter." "You weren't supposed to," she replied. There was no anger in her eyes. "Just history." "You left," Daniel said quietly. "No calls, no letters. I searched for you for months." Grace looked down, then back up. "I know, and I'm sorry. There was a lot happening, more than I could handle back then." He waited, hoping she would say more. She didn't. Instead, she glanced toward Ellie, now struggling with mismatched mittens. "I work weekends here," Grace said softly. "Barista during the day, music at night. It's not much, but Ellie loves it." Daniel followed her gaze. The way she watched her daughter was fierce and gentle all at once. "She's amazing," he said. Grace smiled, just a little. "She is." Daniel took a breath. "I'd like to catch up sometime, if that's okay." Grace studied him, then nodded once. "Maybe." Ellie ran back, one mitten crooked, giggling. She grabbed Grace's hand, then turned to Daniel and whispered, "I think Mommy smiled. She doesn't do that much." She winked like it was a secret. Daniel laughed softly, something warm stirring in his chest. Grace met his eyes. "Good night, Daniel." "Good night, Grace." They left together. But something had opened. Not just a memory, a beginning. The snow had stopped falling. Daniel sat alone on a park bench the following evening, a paper cup of lukewarm coffee between his hands. The street lamps flickered on one by one, casting a warm glow on the sidewalk, but his mind was far from the present. He could still hear Grace's voice. "I didn't expect to see you again, especially here." It had been 10 years, a decade filled with headlines, promotions, cities, and silence. And suddenly, With the sound of a child's piano and a name spoken in innocence, it all came crashing back. He closed his eyes, and the memories returned. They had met on campus, two music kids with different dreams but the same rhythm. Grace with her notebooks full of lyrics and half-written piano melodies. Daniel with his guitar, always a little out of tune but full of soul. She used to sit on the library steps in the fall, humming songs she hadn't finished, and he would play along beside her. It was easy with her, effortless. They talked about going to New York together. She'd study composition. He'd study sound engineering.